All right, Five Night Gamers, welcome back to the Ultra Space Time Podcast today, episode 60, PvP Revamped. So much to talk about, but as always, don't forget Twitch Prime is not a crime. If you're over here on Twitch, you have that free Prime sub. Feel free to drop it and support us. And make sure to follow all our social media on Linktree. If you're on YouTube, check the description for that so you can, stay up to date on our Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, all the good stuff. And before we get started, today I am joined by only 3 people. Unfortunately, one of us had something come up. But we have Azdeek. How you doing, man?
Doing great, dude. Saving up that CC in anticipation of Black Friday, dude.
Let's go. We have Swift in the house too. How you doing, my man?
Yo, I am good.
Okay. then we will
Swift
skip.
just died.
Swift is eating right now. He's out for lunch. ZV Rant, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm
Yo,
muted.
what is up,
My
boys?
bad. I'm good.
What's good,
What's
Swift?
up, guys?
Alrighty. So today's topics, we're going to talk about a couple of units that I almost forgot to put on because we had so much to talk about. So we have the Zenkai for GT Vegeta, the Zenkai for the Extreme Beerus. We got the leader slot update finally after it's long been announced. We got the boost system, the PvP leaks. We got the secure and guaranteed equipment upgrade. We got a raid going on that is still going on until pretty much another day and a half. And we can talk about the reveals and stuff, what we expect, what we want to see. And with that said, I'm going to hand it over to ZVG. How do you like that Zenkai GT Vegeta?
What do you mean? How do I like him? I honestly I think he's fine. Honestly, I think he's fine for GT. I think Uve's still the better yellow option. I think definitively the better yellow option for GT. Well, this guy is a very good substitute, even though you won't have the endurance. But you have you have death buffs. You have support as well, especially with the Super Saiyan 4s. He's just a great support unit. I think the best description I've seen for this guy is the fact that he's like Android 21 for GT. I feel like that's a very good way of putting it. I mean, he gives a health restoration and damage inflicted once he dies, and he also gives some family 20% strike, which is weird. He doesn't buff his own family. He buffs Goku's family, but whatever. He just saying 30% key recovery, GT 20% to damage inflicted for 15 timer counts, and he gives stack Super Saiyan 4 plus 20% to ultimate and awakened damage inflicted. I think he's good. Obviously, he has a lot of debuffs. He does a lot of. I fought like 2 or 3, and they've done a lot of damage to me. Like the debuffs are actually, like you can't just ignore this guy once he comes onto the battlefield. Like he actually makes a stamp on the battlefield with all his debuffs and everything. I think he's fine. I think it's great that they're giving GT more options, because not everybody will have Oob, and then not everybody will have all the units that are the most optimal. We can still get this guy up for free, give him to Zenkai 7, and use him to great effectiveness in PvP. I think he's fine.
Why didn't you mention the most optimal unit on GT? I love Super Saiyan 4 Goku.
Nah. No. But I think it's very interesting that they give this guy awakened damage support. I feel like that's kind of weird, honestly, because no Super Saiyan 4 has that in the game. But who knows? Maybe in 2022 we'll see a transforming Super Saiyan 4 Goku or something. That'd be pretty hype. What do you guys think?
Yeah, honestly, we were talking about this the other day, dude, and I didn't even realize that this guy had the awakened damage right there, and it absolutely made me so happy. We were talking about what if a Kid Goku got an awakened arts similar to Bojack's, where he lands the awakened arts, and then you just see him like beefing up and going into Super Saiyan 4, dude. I would absolutely lose my mind over something like that. That'd be so damn cool. But the unit itself, I think he's kind of like more on the mid side. I think the thing that grinds my gears the most about this unit is the Z ability itself, right? Like I think even at 14 stars, it's really just on the lower end. It's like it's 23% to just only Saiyans base blast attack and defense. I feel like they could have. This is one of those units where they could absolutely have tweaked the Z ability, right? Because I know a lot of people were upset with Remember when Yellow Frieza got his Zenkai, and people were like, why didn't they update his Z ability? Because it was only for Yellow. I feel like this guy is kind of like in the same boat. Like, yeah, he basically you want to run him, you want to sandwich him in between Super Saiyan 4 Goku's, preferably, right? Because that you're going to get the full effectiveness of his passive ability where it's Sun Family, Saiyan, GT, and Super Saiyan 4. And I guess in that case and scenario, you're going to be able to get the full effect out of that Z ability because they're all Saiyans and stuff like that. But like how ZVG said, I think Majub is just definitely going to be the better unit overall. I'm not going to run this guy over Majub, I think, like in any way, shape, or form, even if I have like a low star Majub or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, you can tell just by looking at the unit, like you said, looking at his Z ability, he's got that kind of the old age Z ability. You know what I mean? It's, you know, new age is like 35%, you know. He's got, you know, kind of lower stats on the Z ability. And like you said, it is only Saiyan, so that's not, I mean, it's not horrible. Obviously, Saiyan is a pretty general tag, but a lot of newer units nowadays, they're getting multiple tags on their Z abilities, so that's kind of a bummer. I agree. He's kind of more on the mid side, but at the same time, I've only fought him like, I feel like I've only ran into him in PvP like maybe 4 or 5 times, so I don't really have like the best judgment yet, I don't think, but yeah, I think he's definitely more on the mid side. Looking at his main ability, did he have the +5 sub count for where he inflicts the enemies with a +5 sub count? Did he have that before he got his Zenkai?
I don't think so.
I was gonna say, it looks like they added that, which is actually, that's what I saw. I was like, damn, that's actually pretty good.
Oh no, he had it. He had it before the +5 sub count on the main.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did have that on the main? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's actually not that bad, because you think about, like, he just pops his main and flicks all enemies with +5 sub count. It's basically a forced lock-in. So I think that's, I mean, he's got that going for him, I guess, but I don't know. Probably more on the balance side.
Oh yeah, definitely. But like like how we've said in previous podcasts and stuff like that, these Zenkai units, you know, they're going to be really, really helpful for like filler units, right? I think Zamasu has been so far the exception. I think he's going to continue being the exception once we start getting some more of these free-to-play Zenkais. Zamasu is just absolutely amazing. But this guy, yeah. I would say like maybe like bottom of tier 1, maybe even that's generous. Maybe even that's I don't know. But he's definitely not. I wouldn't say he's like absolutely like scum of Dragon Ball Legends or anything like that. But
like Khalifa.
But he
so
does
weird.
He has the death buffs and stuff like that too. So I guess you can get purpose out of him, right? I think that's one of the most important things. You definitely can find some sort of value for him there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
imagine
sure.
playing him on Vegeta family with the purple future Vegeta, and then I don't know, Majin Vegeta or the GT Vegeta just to buff him up with like double death buffs.
Yeah.
Sounds like
that would be pretty
viable
amazing.
strat.
Yeah,
Right?
one thing I wanna bring up is the fact that as he extract with these Z abilities, but like these Z abilities is just, I feel like they forgot that they've changed Z abilities before. Like they had to have forgotten that they changed Z abilities before, because they did change the Red Vegeta Z ability to Vegeta family when he first got his first, you know, the character balance boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they forgot that they did that, and they're just not gonna do it anymore. It's just kind of weird, you know. But I definitely think that they should definitely update these Z abilities, bro, because their Z abilities are so old, man. Like these new age Z abilities, like 35% to both defenses or something like that, and this guy only buffs like Saiyans. It's like it's actually kind of dumb, to be honest with you.
And it's 23% too. I mean, the difference between 23 and like, let's say 33 is a pretty big difference. I mean, that can be, you know, the difference between winning and losing sometimes. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, maybe considering, you know, if they continue to Zenkai a lot of these older Zenkais, because, you know, we know Zenkais moving forward are going to be free, right? So we know most Zenkais, or if not all Zenkais, are going to be free. They're going to continue Zenkaiing these older units. I would argue, you know, if it's a unit like this, I wouldn't mind if they updated the Z ability a little bit, you know, instead of 23, you know, bring it up to 28, 29, 30, something like that. I'd be cool with that. Especially on a unit that needs it.
Or you even give him the extra tag. You just give him the GT tag. That's pretty much what I wanted to see the most.
Yeah, Saiyan and
tag.
GT, that'd be nice. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and I also, as ZVG said, you fought him twice. I have not even encountered a single one. I think I had some who brought him on the bench, but then they never used him.
Yeah. Well, because what's his Zenkai buffs yellow GT, so I guess you could get a little bit of use out of that. I guess you could Zenkai buff Majub.
Yeah, that is true.
So, dude, a Zenkai buffed Majub would actually be nuts.
Oh yeah, I think that's the main purpose that I might actually consider putting him on my GT team and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of honestly, like I said, there's always going to be some sort of value for these kinds of units and stuff like that. But GT just feels so good right now that I don't really feel like I need him, because I remember one of these podcasts a while ago, I was saying that I kind of want a new blue for GT, right? Because I'm not a big fan of Super Saiyan 3 Kid Goku. Ice. I do like Ice. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I like Ice, but he's obviously not making the cut these days.
Diabotic
But
dickhead.
but I've been using Gokuba on GT, and that's been like
Ooh.
absolute chef's kiss right there for me on GT. That's been working out really, really well for me so far, and all the games that I've played with him. But
I love Goku.
Yeah, dude.
On regen?
On regen? Oh my god.
On
Yeah.
movies, oh, so great.
Imagine putting Goku on the leader slot on movies, dude. Oh my god, he's so good.
Yeah, dude.
I actually did that, like no meme, because I wanted to give Gohan the extra shock attack. So yeah, I actually did that, Palm. Thank you.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah.
Well,
man.
Goku's got that busted Z ability too, doesn't he?
Yep.
Strike attack and then also HP, yeah.
Yeah, that's huge as a leader slot, or in the
Yeah.
leader slot. That is huge.
Absolutely.
But
Massive,
yeah,
dude, all
we'll
around.
get to that in a second to the entire update. But yeah, the GT Vegeta, I mean, mine is Zenkai 4, and going forward, I am not going to spend a single Chrono Crystal on these Zenkais anymore. I can wait 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
I
maybe
agree.
if it's like a unit. Well, who could they Zenkai that I use? Maybe Purple 21. I
Yeah,
met
if there was
Zenkai
something
earlier.
for regen, I bet you would, because that
Like
was
main
the
team.
reason I spent a little bit of CC on Zamasu, right?
Yeah,
like
that
I'm
makes
like,
sense.
okay, I main God Key, so I'm gonna just, I think I put like 3,000 CC or something, and then I did the rest for free. So
Yeah, because you can get him to Zenkai 4, I think, on the first day with the missions. So
Yeah,
and then the rest
something
you just
like that.
get like this, yeah. But even then, you can also just do the dailies or something like that. They're still there, which is still great. If you want to accelerate it a little bit, make like a week out of 2, just do the dailies, or maybe do like throw 1 multi in.
Oh
So,
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
also the way they're handling it is fantastic, because content creators, they can still do it day 1, and if you don't have time, but you have the money, you just throw in the 7K chronos and you're done. The others, they can play the gauntlet, they can do some of the missions, and then just like do a mix or do it for free. It's nice.
Yeah, for sure. It is like a little bit of a grind, because I think the gauntlet, I mean, it at least takes like a couple hours, but once you get that done, you get a big chunk of the Zenkai for free. I would say it's definitely worth it.
Yeah. Also, what's great now at the gauntlet, you can just do all the first 69
Yeah.
stages in one go.
I saw that, bro. It's actually really nice, but it still makes you sit there and wait through all the battles, but it's not like you're having to like
To do
click
anything, yeah.
Like you can just like set your phone down for like, 15 minutes and then you're done.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
because if you lose a battle, they need to know where to stop. But I think that even then, they could probably just lose the animations and make it quicker, but they didn't want to.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that's what I thought was gonna happen when I first saw that and I read that in the news, dude. I honestly was so ecstatic about that. I thought I was gonna be able to go in there and it was just gonna start, because you know how it does that little animation where your like health bars are just smacking each other around.
Yeah.
I thought it was just continuously going to do that. And,
Yeah,
like,
me
throughout the
too, me
rounds,
too.
And then it was just gonna stop when you lost. That would
Me
have been
too.
so damn good.
Bro, it's like, dude, it's like they make these good systems and then they don't revise it. It's like they made the system and like they didn't test it enough to realize that, okay, maybe the player just wanna, just skip all this and just wanna go to where they lost, right? No, let's
Yeah.
have them just watch it anyway. Like, it's just like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
It definitely needs to
Just,
be
just a little bit
optimized
more
a little
effort.
bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit more.
Like
and
we're
then it's just
almost
great.
there.
Yeah, almost there. Well, at least, okay, at least it's an improvement, right? But it could be improved, further. Is what we're
Yeah.
saying.
That's
Facts. Facts.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we got another Zenkai unit that I also almost forgot. Now the question, Azdeek, is: did I forget Zenkai Beerus because he's irrelevant, or just because the other stuff was more hype?
I think it's a little bit that he's not. not necessarily completely
He's trash.
irrelevant or anything like that, but he only had one purpose. When he had first got announced, the only thing that I completely expected out of him was, okay, well, I just want this guy to be better than Champa. That was my only expectations. And I think he actually does do that. I think he actually is better than Champa. If you actually look through some of his kit, he actually has some decent stuff going on for him, right? Like the longer he's in, he does get stronger. He gets like blast damage up to like 60% right there, right? He also gains he gets a blast card on entry, and I do like that a lot. Not only does he gain the blast card on entry, but he also restores his own ki by 30 while also sealing the enemy strike cards, which actually catches a lot of people off guard. You know, especially when you're coming in, you have like a full hand of strikes or anything like that. You know, you're at the end of your combo and stuff. Getting that lock off is pretty good. And then just overall, I don't think he's absolutely terrible, as CVG says. I don't think he's absolutely terrible. I honestly, like I said, he's better than Champa. You know, if you only have Champa on your God Key team, you can easily replace him with this guy. He will do some decent damage, in my own opinion. I've used him. I've used him quite a bit, but, you know, I like him. I'm not even going to lie. I do like him. I think the only edge that the main comparisons that you can compare with him is just only Champa, because you look at the other yellows for God Key, you got Super Saiyan God Vegeta. I don't think he touches him. You have Gogeta Blue. Again, I don't think he touches him. And then Evolution Vegeta, and he absolutely does not even make a comparison with that guy. But, you know, I know some people in the chat here saying Champa, that they like Champa more, but I think the only thing that Champa has to offer is just the fact that he manipulates sub counts, right? In my opinion, I think I think it's really good. I like that a lot, but I don't think it's as good as this guy right here.
I mean, sub count is very, very valuable, especially in like the meta of Rising Rush, like lots of Rising Rush and Revival units. You really want to play around this shit a lot. I think it's really important. So I think it could be underrated. I also remember Goresh saying that the Ape Vegeta was one of his, or even the favorite LF of this year so far, just because he has that -5 sub count on the blue card, for example. Because that catches opponents off guard as well. You know, you're like, he just switched out Vegeta. I'm gonna rush. Nope.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, looking at this Beerus, in my opinion, he's got a couple good things and a couple bad things. Some of the bad things is his Z ability is just a singular, you know, 35% to blast attack, which is a slightly higher percentage, but I would still rather have like a double buff, like a 30%, you know, blast attack and defense. You know, he is an extreme unit, so he's got slightly lower stats. I mean, looking at his stats, almost 265k blast attack isn't horrible, but I feel like his defenses are like maybe like 10,000 less than they should be. Like, dude, if his defenses were 100 and like right above 170, I think he would probably perform better, but I feel like he probably lacks a lot on defenses just because even though he's a Zenkai, he is an extreme unit. And then, like I said, the Z ability is kind of a deal breaker for me. I really like having a good team or a good setup with like good Z abilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some units are so good to the point to where it doesn't matter what their Z ability is. Like, you know, like FSK Gohan. There's certain units like their Z, they don't have the best Z ability, but they're just so good it doesn't matter. But a unit like this, I feel like the Z ability is almost a deal breaker for me. And like Azdeek said, you just cannot compare him to Evolution Vegeta.
Yep. Yeah, basically. I think another thing to mention as well is that Zach actually mentions it in the chat, is that he has access to that equipment, right? The extreme color equip.
Yep.
And I think that helps him out a lot, correct?
20,
You get up to 25%.
True.
To all stats and 12.5% HP. Especially now that you can actually guaranteed perfect it if you want to, except the first slot.
Oh, yeah, exactly, dude. With the equipment update and stuff like that, yeah, beautiful right there. You're good to go with that equipment and stuff like that. God Key already has some amazing equipment to choose from too, so you just got to like basically pick and choose at that point.
Yep, I agree. But I also have to say that so far my favorite thing about this Beerus Zenkai is that we get 1,000 chronos again and not 600 like from, I think, Krillin. They only gave us 600 from the missions, and now we're getting 1,000. And I hope that they keep that. I hope it's not just because it's close to the festival or something, but that they go back to giving us 1k crystals from those, you know, Zenkai and event missions.
Yeah, for sure. More CC is always nice.
That gives you 5 guaranteed or 6 guaranteed equipment upgrades.
Hey, that's huge though. Like depending on, I was talking about this the other night. Like when it comes to regular equipment, it's not like too big of a deal because you can always still gamble with slot removers and just see what you get. But when it comes to some of these platinum equips where they just have horrible rates,
Oh god, yes.
you're almost just better off doing this like guaranteed upgrade and just not dealing with, you know, going through 400 slot erasers to get a gold slot when you could just spend, you know, 600, 800 CC and get what you want. So
Except for the Gogeta equip last slot badge.
yeah,
Wait, so you
yeah, I
can't
heard
use any of
is
that
true.
stuff on the Gogeta equip? You can't use the...
No, you
enhanced
cannot
one?
use it. You cannot use it on the last slot. The middle slot you can guaranteed upgrade and everything, but not the last one.
So I'm
That makes
assuming
sense.
like it's really made for just anything with percentages.
Yep.
And then
And
if they
unless
ever have
it's-
like
unless it's
other
negative.
unique equipment. Yeah. Yeah.
Negative ones also don't work. But yeah, other than that, I haven't really tried out the Beerus. I think mine is like Zenkai 2 or something. I honestly don't really intend to use them as well, just because I don't feel like. Especially not if you want to
You don't want
grind.
to lose RP.
Exactly.
Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, you can't take the risk nowadays.
Well, I mean, I think that's more exclusive for you three, right now at least.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, right now, actually, ZVG more than me. I think ZVG.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get into the talk about the system. I can't wait, bro. Wait.
All right. I guess we can do that. And we are going to start you off with the leader slot update. Swift, what do you think? Trash or treasure?
Okay, so honestly, I think the leader slot thing is really good. Like, I actually like it. It brings a lot of, you know, different options on different, you know, team setups that you can build. Like recently I threw, you know, red DBS Frieza on God Key and it actually worked really well. I threw, like Revival Gohan on God Key. I'm probably just going to continue, like, just throwing random units on God Key and seeing how they perform. But, like, I actually like it, but I do think it's something that you're going to see a lot at the lower to mid ranks, and then as you climb to the higher ranks, you're going to just start seeing regular meta teams. That was one thing I noticed is when I was like rank, you know, 1,000, 900, 800, 700, I was seeing a lot of like people having fun with the leader slot, stuff like that. And then as I got closer to the top 100, it just started becoming, you know, constant Saiyan teams, constant hybrid teams, like, you know, just regular meta teams. So I do think overall the leader slot is a great thing for the game. It brings diversity. It's you know, a dream come true for content creators for sure.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we can just throw whatever, you know, we can build whatever team we want. And that goes for everybody too. You don't have to be a content creator. You can literally just let your imagination fly and build whatever team you like. And I think that's the beauty of it. I haven't seen any like too overly busted setups just yet. I've seen a lot of good setups, but like when I think of good setups, I got to compare them to the meta teams, right? So I think of hybrids, I think of like a super stacked Saiyan team. And when I'm comparing leader slot teams to those teams, I haven't really seen anything that touches it yet. So I still think like higher ranks, you're probably just better off rocking a regular, you know, meta team, whatever, you know, whether you got hybrid Saiyans, movies, whatever it is. But I'm sure, you know, give it some time. I was talking about this the other day, like, dude, just give it like maybe a month or two, and there's probably going to be some cool teams surfacing that, you know, people start realizing that are really, really good, you know, utilizing the leader slot. But I think it will take time. But yeah, overall, my bad. I kind of went off on a tangent. But yeah, no, my bad. I actually really do like the leader slot. It has the potential to be bad, but I think so far it's been really good. I feel like overall the community has liked it a lot. I know I've had a lot of fun with it. So yeah, what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I like it as well. For me, it's like, okay, I can try out different things. I'm really loving this regen setup with Gokua, because Gokua is just a Chad, and I was kind of struggling with hybrids a lot, so that helps. You know, makes matches quite a bit faster. And also, I said this before, now people cannot complain that their team, their favorite team is missing like a good red unit, for example, because now you can just just take one.
Dude,
And
yeah,
take
facts.
any red unit that you like, that you have at a good, decent star level. Just throw them on your team. You're good to go. It's great. And also, you see teams that you don't see normally, because before that it was literally only Saiyans and hybrids, with like the occasional like regen or one or two other teams. But most of the times it's just 2-3 teams, and now it's more diverse, which is cool. I enjoy it.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I actually realized is I think it's going to be good for new players as well, because they don't have to be scared to chase a unit, right? Like, so if you have a stacked account, you don't have to worry about it. Like, a new unit comes out, most likely you can chase them and you're going to have a team ready to go for whatever unit it is. But for like a newer player, they might not have, every single team ready to go. So now they don't have to be scared to chase it. If a new LF unit comes out and they really like it, they can go for it, get a couple copies, and then just throw them on whatever team they have ready to go. So I think it's going to be good for new players as well.
Yep.
That's a fair
100%
point.
agree.
So Azdeek, as a free-to-play, how was your experience so far?
Oh, dude, it's been amazing, man. Like, I had to be real honest with you guys. Like I already talked about it earlier, but on GT, I've been complaining about a blue unit for a good while now, and then boom, Gokua is now basically my guaranteed blue units on GT and stuff like that. It's been working out extremely well. I've seen Gogeta 4 being used on a ton of teams, actually. Right, I feel like he's like amongst some like the best. I would say he's probably like top 10 leaders for me. Would be Gogeta 4, just because of the fact that he has that absolutely insane revival disruption and stuff like that, right? He actually can be the glue on a lot of teams here. And then other than that, you have units like I've used Topo on a couple teams as well, right, as the leader slot. I've used Bergamo on a couple teams as the leader slot. It was just those health Z abilities really come in handy, right? Like I really want to use Yajirobe on a couple of oddball teams and stuff like that. I'm having a ton of fun. I think that's the main point right there, is that just having just so much options where you can run these like oddball characters. And I was talking about this with ZVG the other day as well too. This is like basically like a wet dream just for casual players, right? Because you can now run your favorite units together, right? Like whether you want to run a Saiyan with like a villain, like you can do that now. Like you can run whatever you want. You want to run a hybrid with like Cell or something like that. You want to run like, you have like these mixture like of teams that you can use. Like there's infinite combinations and stuff like that. Like for people that are just absolutely like, I don't care about the meta, I don't care about like the most optimal teams, like I just want to use my favorite characters side by side. This is absolutely perfect right here.
Yeah, for sure.
And this can also make for some really fun rules for league and stuff, by the way.
Yeah, that too.
Oh,
We can
yeah.
have like specific
Yes,
leaders.
sir.
We can do, something like that. There's a
Yeah,
whole lot of.
I had something in mind
options.
where basically we take the wheel back, but you have to roll 5 units, and then after the 5 units, you can pick your leader for those.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
So there's
That would
there's
actually be cool.
there's an element of RNG and despair, which every viewer loves to see, but you still have a little bit of control.
Yeah, I could see that being a really good idea, actually.
Oh yeah.
We might do that for the last round. Let's go. So what are some of the wildest teams out there that you've seen?
Oh, wildest.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I feel like a lot of the people that I've ran into personally are still a little bit vanilla with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you still see a lot of like regular teams. But then for the love of God, and we said that earlier, ZVG, right? Don't put FSK as the leader on every stupid team just because he's
Yes.
FSK.
Well, yeah, because he
Yes, yo,
only
listen.
synergizes in certain situations.
Just Sunfam
Yo,
and
listen.
hybrids. Mostly
Yeah.
hybrids.
If you run FSK on any other team than hybrids, bro, you're literally giving people free points. Like he dies it's so insanely quick. He does have the Sun family unit to get the ultimate damage up. Like he's just a nobody, literally on any other team than hybrids or Sun family, bro. Like just stop it. Well, actually, don't stop it. Keep doing it so I can get free RP. Thank you guys.
One thing I've been seeing a lot is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as the leader.
Yep.
I see a lot
Now
of
that
people just
is
throwing
great.
him on every
That
team.
is great. That is great. He's actually like a big threat, honestly. Damn,
Yeah, he
Revival,
really
no
is,
cap.
dude. It's actually crazy, like how far he's come since he's gotten that equipment. Like he's
Yeah.
really good.
You know what I've seen a lot too is Vados.
I'm the leader.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
please continue, please. I love it.
No, but literally, so many people are using like Vados on hybrids, for example. You know, you bringing Vados, bringing Revival Gohan and FSK, and I'm like, but
Okay,
but
well,
Vados
I'll
dies
say
in like
one
3
thing.
cards.
I'll say one thing about Vados as the leader slot. Okay, there's one thing you have to remember, and it's she does still give allies damage buff, right? Every time she swaps out, she gives like I think like a 30% damage buff, and then she has another buff that stacks 5% every time. And one thing you have to remember is her passive healing does not count unless it's for allied God Key or allied rival universe. She still heals on her main ability. So you're still getting healing on the main and you're getting damage buffs for your allies, but you're not getting that crucial passive heal.
Yeah, only for herself, right?
Yeah. I believe she would heal herself a little bit every time she swaps out, but she would not be healing her allies. So unless they were God Key or rival universe. So that's something to remember is like you're still gonna have some synergy because she is offering damage buffs, but she's not gonna be giving that healing.
Yeah, so in a way, she's still kind of trapped into those 2 tags, right? Even with the leader skill, because the leader skill does not apply to unique abilities. It'd be a whole different ballgame if they applied to uniques.
You know what I saw?
That would have been crazy.
The weirdest thing I saw was like Bardock with no Super Saiyans on his team, bro. Like I thought a Bardock, FSK, and Super Saiyan 3 Goku team. Like I just remember that had to be the weirdest team. Like he just put Bardock. He also put I think this guy put Hit or something with Bardock trying to get. It was weird, dude. It was weird. Like I think he didn't realize that he won't get the Super Saiyan buffs or something. Like that was just weird, honestly. But yeah, those are some of the weird teams. That
people are probably. I'm sure there's people that are focusing more on the Z ability than the actual kit, and it's like you definitely got to take both of them into consideration.
Yep. And this is also how they can still make units relevant only to certain teams by just building the kits around hybrids, for example, or rival universe. So they can still kind of trap units and say, nope, this unit is specifically made for, I don't know, Saiyans or minions or whatever.
Yeah. And I think most of the time that's a good thing, but there is, certain situations where it's nice to have a unit that can, play on multiple teams. But
yeah,
especially with the leader slot nowadays, I think that's a good thing. That you're kind of, you do have options on your team building, but for certain like really good units or really busted units, they do have their limits. So I think at the end of the day, that's good.
Yeah. Like for example, Goresh told me, why don't I try out Region with Robbery in the leader slot? Because then you have your Rising Rush fodder basically. The thing is when he dies, he gives death buffs, but to minions, so that part of the kit is kind of wasted, but at least I would have like the Rising Rush deterrent that almost all the other teams have. And this is also cool. It's like, my team is missing a red endurance unit. I'll just pick one,
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I think the one flaw with the mini, because I think I tried Robbery on some God Key. So that's what I want out of God Key is that red unit with the Rising Rush mitigation. But I think the problem with that though is that the minions have such good equipment, like for per minion or per Frieza Force. And so when they don't have that on, oh, dude, the damage is so bad. Oh my god, it's pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, the damage is pretty rough. But I guess their one purpose, or Robbery's one purpose, is just to go ahead and just eat that rush, right? So I guess it still works out in that
and then heal
that way.
Then heal the team.
Yeah, I can maybe see if you're running Robbery alongside a unit like Vados or the Zenkai Boo, where you can, pop the main ability, heal up, and then you have 2 main abilities that heal. And then you have the endurance on top of that. I could see that being, somewhat decent. But another thing to remember about the leader slot is the fact that the enemy can normally, that was one thing I noticed when I've been playing with leader slot teams recently, is the enemy can color counter you pretty easily. Like most of the time they know you're going to bring the leader slot, because if you don't bring the leader unit, then you're just like almost wasting a Z ability. So they can, I don't know. I think it can be good for certain teams, but at the same time, the enemy basically can see what you're bringing most of the time.
Yeah, you could play some mind games though, right? At the same time, because I remember I was using a girls team, right? I was using a girls team and I had Vados as that leader slot. just because of the fact she doesn't buff girls, regardless if I don't put her in that leader slot, right? But the only team that I was running, the only units that I was running on that was the blue 21, the purple free-to-play Bulma. I was using the Bob Saget setup, and then the Android 18. And everyone kept bringing purples because they were like, oh, this dude's 100% going to bring in Vados. And
Yeah,
so
I could see that. You could definitely play some mind games with it.
yeah, so I had a good time. I'm not going to lie. Bob Saget came through for me.
Dude, that team's actually crazy, but that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Man, that team has been around for so long now.
Yeah.
All right, now I want to hear ZVG go off. So let's move on to the boost system. ZVG, do you think that made an impact at all?
Nope.
All right, next
I
topic.
don't. I was saying this. I was saying this to Azdeek on the day that I record. I was like, dude, like this thing. Other than the featured units, I don't think it's gonna make that big of an impact. I barely fought any Pycons, and he's still not that great. I think the biggest unit that benefited from this is like Cell, because Cell's A tier and he gets the 20% damage and the 15% more defense. But I think otherwise, I think the biggest issue with it, right, is the fact that the units in Z and S tier and like A tier, right, they have terrible kits, and no amount of stats is gonna help those terrible kits that they have, right? So I feel like the boost thing didn't really change much, but the leader system definitely did change up some stuff quite a bit. But the boost system is just there, I guess, to just, well, when the new LF or new Ultra comes out and they're in the featured, we'll probably see, it taken in effect. But otherwise, it's not gonna change much on it.
Yeah, I remember we made a video. Battlemore was playing the girls team, like the Universe 2 girls, and the thing is, you just constantly run out of key. Like the units are so old, they don't get key on anything. Not even on the main ability. It's like Ribrianne locks in, you have 10 key, you pop the main, oops, nothing.
Yep.
Stupid. So you need to kind of make use of both, right? So you need to use the leader system, put one of those Z tier units in there, and then just put them into like a busted team with like Vados that gives key on switch out, or some other unit that can supply the key. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Like for me, I wouldn't play a full Z tier like Universe 2 girls team, because even if you do more damage, you just don't have enough cards and key to actually finish.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the issue, is I think even though they're trying to develop this boost system, some of these older units, man, they need more than just like a slight buff to become viable. So,
Zenkai.
as for the featured ones though, obviously those are viable units receiving some type of a buff. I know it's less of a buff than the other buffs, but as for the older units, yeah, they're gonna need more than a boost system to become viable. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's like basically the boost system for the Z tier units is like it's as if they had a Zenkai bench, kind of. A little bit less damage, but the defense is 40%. So I think also one thing that's weird is, why are the Cybermen in C tier? Were they scared that this team is so viable in PvP that they need to get a nerf?
Yeah,
No, I think
I saw that too.
okay. I was saying this to somebody in the chat, but I think it's actually like the usage of the units. Like I think it's 100% usage, but I think it's from like BR1 to BR50. So how the casuals are gonna be running like create random units and everything. So I think it is accurate, but it's still kind of mind blowing to see like Super Saiyan 4 Goku beat in C tier. That means he's kind of played a lot, but it has to be in the lower ranks though, for sure, because he's definitely not in the BR50.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have to see what units get, like boosted, because I'm assuming they're going to change it every season, just like they do in TOP.
Yeah.
So every 2 weeks, we'll get a new meta. Enjoy writing the tier list, guys. It's Game Press. It's gonna be fun.
Hey, Red Pycon getting a pretty big buff here. Red Pycon getting 40% damage buff, 35% defense.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Hey, he does. Yeah, with the leader slot too, dude. Oh, bro.
Red Pycon on God Key.
Dude, that's what I use. I use that, bro. Swift, I was gonna ask you that. Yeah,
I heard somebody else. I heard somebody else told me about that team, and I was thinking about trying it out.
Yeah, I used him with Vados and the purple Zamasu to get his full passive, right? Because he wants to be ran with another green or another purple because he gets that extra damage. And dude, the damage that he was doing, man, he was doing it. That's all that's all I gotta say. Swift, I need to see you run that team.
Dude, I kind of want to now.
Do it.
I gotta see how many stars my Pycon is.
All the stars.
God.
Is he not 14 stars? Come on.
He is. Oh, he's 7 stars. That's not bad.
Yeah, dude, do it.
That's not bad. That's usable.
Exactly. Okay. You are going to brace yourselves right now because you are going to be witnessing ZV Rand in just a second. And the reason is because I'm going to ask you, ZVG, how do you feel about the PvP leagues and the matchmaking updates? Let's go.
Updates. What do you mean updates? What do you mean updates, Bombs?
The down dates. What?
Okay, yeah, that's more like it. So I think so if you guys haven't found out already, so basically they changed it to where you gain more RP when you win, but you lose a lot more RP when you lose a match. Right? I think this update for casuals, like for anybody like just trying to get top 10k, I think this update is great. I think the leagues are fine. For anybody who's like grinding like top 1k, top 100, I think this system is actually worse than the last system. Because why is it that I'm finding somebody with 4k RP less than me in a league below mine? Like if I'm platinum, bro, I shouldn't be fighting gold players. Like let's be real, like that shouldn't be. I think that what's the point of having the leagues if I can fight gold players with 4k RP less than me? Like at the very least, it should be like a 2k RP minimum difference.
Maximum.
You know, like it's actually crazy how I can fight somebody with 4k RP less than me and I gain 11 RP for that match. But if I lose 106 RP, it's just gonna go away, right? And that's gonna take like 6-7 matches for you to get that back because the matchmaking is just terrible. I think the bigger issue with the system is the fact that the matchmaking is absolutely terrible. The matchmaking definitely needs a rework in some way, shape, or form. I should not be fighting these low ranked players, dude. Like it's just I gotta be sweating just to get 11 RP. While they can just be chilling, and if they win, they get 100+. And the fact that there's so much variance in this game, there's Rising Rush, there's lag, missed inputs, glitches, team comps, 14 stars across the. It's just like there's too much variance in this game to be punishing people that much for a loss. You know, because it's not always the better player wins the game, right? Some of the time, it's a luckier player who wins at the end of the day, right? Like it's just
Who gets the second rush faster?
Yeah, I feel like them taking away 100 RP for a loss is way too much. If they just reduced that and made the matchmaking actually good, like I'm talking like 2k RP maximum difference, then it'd be a great system. But right now, it's not a great system. It's just, well, for me at least, for any person that's going for like top 1k, top 100, it's not great. But for everybody else, I think something is fine. I mean, the grind is faster. I think the league thing is, I like the league thing, you know, because I'm trying to get the God rank, you know what I'm saying? But God rank is like BR70, and that's like 15.5k RP. That's a long way to go. So it's gonna be a while before anybody reaches that. But I think it's fine. I think it's fine. But it just needs to get a rework. The matchmaking and the RP loss needs to get reworked in some way, shape, or form. And after that, I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I agree with literally like everything you just said. I think they really need to sit down and figure out like, okay, do they want matchmaking to work like where you just get matched up as soon as possible? Doesn't matter who it is. You know, they could be same RP or they could be 4,000 less RP. Doesn't matter. As long as it's a quick matchup, it doesn't matter. Or, you know, they need to, you know, I would much rather have a situation if I wait a little bit longer for a match. Like, let's say instead of waiting, 2 minutes, I wait 5 minutes, but I actually match somebody that's close to my RP. I would actually prefer that because when you're grinding for like, let's say top 500, top 100, if anywhere in that area, I would much rather wait longer for a match and then match somebody's similar RP than get matched right away and then just take the chance of losing and then losing like 100 RP. Like, kind of like ZVG said, there's games where you don't even play bad. It's just you either get unlucky, you get your rush guessed, or whatever it is. There's situations where you can lose and it's really not even your fault. And those matches where you're losing and you're losing like 100, 110 RP or whatever it is, it's just crazy, man. So that's kind of my take on it. If I had to, change matchmaking to what I wanted it to be, I would not mind waiting a little bit longer for a match as long as it matches me with somebody similar to my RP range. But that's just my opinion. Because I've heard some people say the opposite. I've heard some people say they would much rather just get a match as soon as possible and it doesn't matter who they're fighting. But that's, in my opinion, I don't agree with that. I would much rather, if it means I wait a couple more minutes and I match somebody, with higher RP, then that's what I would want. I would much rather do.
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, I don't mind waiting a little bit longer, just putting the phone down, because now they implemented a feature where it vibrates when you get a match, so you don't just not notice it.
Yeah,
so you can actually put the phone next to you, do something if you're sitting in front of a PC, and then you just feel it, like hear the vibration, and you're like, all right, I got a match, and not just go into the match with the first 3 units on your team. One thing, also agree with ZVG. One thing I would like to add to is that I heard some people complaining about, bruh, I'm going to take so long to be battle rank 70, but it's also not meant to be reached in the first 2 days. People would always grind to battle rank 50 on the very first day with bots. It's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be an actual achievement, and not just something you just cheese your way through, with a couple of bots, free RP, float step, no real opponents most of the time. So I think that's fine.
So one thing I want to say is the fact that there's still DC hacks. Oh my god, dude. If you get disconnect hacked, bro, that's an easy 200 RP you're gonna lose. It happened to one of my viewers, Fact City, and it also happened to Maud as well. The fact that DC hackers are still running around with this new system is actually terrifying to think about, because, dude, I'm telling you, if that happens to me, bro, Toshi's gonna have to pay, bro. Honestly, no cap. Because I'm not about to lose 200 RP just because, cheaters in the game are making me lose RP, even though I'm playing the game correctly. That's just something that I don't want to deal with, bro. Honestly, that's something scary to think about, honestly.
Well, like you said, if you lose, even if you lose 100 RP, it can take you, 6-7 games to get that back. And depending, how the games are going, if they're laggy matches, maybe they take, 8-9 minutes a piece. It just depends, but that can be a lot of time wasted right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. And also a lot of phones thrown against walls. And then we will end. We will end as fingerless zombies. You remember?
Yes, I remember.
I remember. Yep. So I guess the fixed Q name will still be prevailing in PvP for longer. And we got one more update that came to the game, and that is the guaranteed equipment rerolling. And I have to say, that feature is great. I just think that, I don't know, do you think it's too expensive, or do you think that the resources actually are perfectly fine?
For me, it's too expensive, but honestly, I don't think it's that bad. I'm gonna just go ahead and be like, I don't see myself especially using CC on this, right, as a free-to-play player, but I think it's, I'm hearing a lot of people saying they're just going ahead and spending the CC on their main team only. I don't expect people to go out there and just be like, all right, I'm going to pull up my equipment list and I'm going to get every single one of my equips to Z+ through the system, because that would just be way too much.
Goresh did that on stream, right?
Yeah, it probably cost them a pretty penny. I'm not gonna lie, but I wouldn't recommend just everyone to do that, though, right? Not everyone is Goresh, and so because it was Goresh and Truth that did that, right? So it was like a battle of the whales right there in that situation. But for just a regular casual player, I would say go ahead and get your main team, your main team to all Z+. Do it. I'm seeing a lot of people doing it, and they're pretty happy with it. They're pretty happy with the update overall. But I do think it is a bit pricey. It definitely, for me at least, it looks a bit pricey.
No, it adds up really quickly. The amount of the percentage that you get per whatever it is, 200 CC or whatever, it adds up pretty quickly. But I will say, something to remember, man. Equipments are basically just permanent upgrades to your account, to your teams. So equipments are very, very valuable, especially depending on depending on the team, there's certain equipments that are just like must-haves. And if you have high rolls on them, it's just going to make your team that much better. So I agree with Azdeek. Like, I could easily see even free-to-play players, as long as it's like your main team and, you know, that's the team that you grind PvP with, then it actually makes sense to kind of slowly grind it up. I'm like, even myself, I don't really go crazy on this type stuff, but I've probably put, you know, close to 1,000 CC into re-rolling my equips already, or upgrading my equips, I should say. And I think I've only I got one equip from a Z to a Z plus, and then I got another equip kind of like close to a Z plus. So that shows you how expensive it is. Like, I basically got one Z to Z plus for like 800 CC. So it's not cheap, but you know, it is a permanent upgrade to your team.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
I mean, Goresh, for example, I think he went for the cosmetics more so than... I mean, in a way, he also went for the stats, obviously, but I think he stopped whenever it went to a Z+. And for me, for example, I tried to then instead just max out like the important stats. And there's also a difference, you know, for example, you know those pure stat equips that are usually 5 to 6, or if you're lucky, 7%. And if you secure like guaranteed upgrade those, I think you get like 0.1%, or if you're lucky, 0.15. And then there are some stats that go up to like 30, 35%, and you get almost a percent. So you need to also keep that in mind. You know, it's not, it's different per equip depending on how high the stat goes.
Oh, like the amount that you get per rotation or whatever.
Yeah, like per guaranteed upgrade. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, actually, what the Hazard just said in chat, units 8, equips don't. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's facts. Like, they'll continue, like, well, let's say you're grinding Saiyan equips or you're grinding God Key equips. You know, as the months go by, it's a possibility that the units get outdated, but most of the time the equipments are not going to get outdated.
Exactly. I think that's the biggest takeaway too. That's actually a very like good point, because, you know, as your unit for your team gets replaced, you know, say like you running like a Piccolo unit, he gets replaced by a better regeneration unit, and then boom, you can just transfer the equips that you had for that guy over to the newer one. Boom, you're good to go.
Yep.
Yeah, but I will say, like, if you're a new player and you don't even have a team set up, then that should be your first focus should be getting your team set up, and then focus on equipment after. But if you already have your main team that you grind PvP with, and, you know, it's obviously your main team and you're satisfied with it, then yeah, throwing some CC into this is not a bad idea. But, like, if you only have, like, if you're trying to run a Saiyan team and you only have, like, 3 out of the 6 units ready to go and you're upgrading these, you know, using CC on these equipments, I would say that does not make sense. You know, try to dedicate your CC to building up your teams and getting them ready for PvP. And then once they're kind of good to go, then focus on equipment. Or at least that's kind of my mentality.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good
I agree with
mentality to
that.
have. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like min-maxing your teams, right? So if you have 1 or 2 teams, if you're free to play, you try and summon on these banners, and you try and get those equipped, and then everything else is kind of a bonus. And
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even as we heard, even though, you know, there's a boost system now, it doesn't seem to have that much of an impact, because everybody at the top still plays their meta teams. So that means that your teams that you had will still be viable because they have synergy, and they have a kit, not like the Universe 2 girls where, you know, just gonna run out of everything.
You know, all you're doing, Pom, by complaining about the Universe 2 girls is that you're gonna inch us closer and closer to getting transforming versions of all of them for Black Friday.
Let's
That's all I'm saying.
go. Transforming Brienne?
Yes.
I'll never transform her.
Oh my
Alrighty. So aside from all of these updates, there's one more thing. Well, there's 2 more things, but one more bit smaller thing is that we have a raid going on right now. Azdeek, how do you like it?
I'm
How do you
playing
like
it
the
right
boost
now.
unit?
I'm playing it right now, dude. As we're speaking, I'm playing the raid,
Bruh.
and honestly,
We have to share
it's-
you?
But I'm using the free to play Goku Black. Right, I think everyone's using the free to play Goku Black. I think this is like pretty amazing. I don't think anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anything of the format for these raids have changed. but like in terms of rewards and stuff like that. But the one thing is that the boost unit, them making this free to play Goku one of the boost units is like one of the best things that they've done in a raid, right? Because it's everyone has access to them. Everyone can easily like breeze through this. Like we all have the means to do this. If I don't see the free to play Goku Black, I honestly get a little bit upset. Yeah, I honestly get a little bit mad.
I had 2 or 3 people of this. I'm like, no.
Yeah, dude. This is exactly what I think the raid should be, right? They should be benefiting the character that comes out, right? Because I remember when the Ultra characters were coming around, and for that co-op, not even the Ultra characters. Like, I remember when Super Saiyan Goku came out, the Ultra one, and he had that co-op for his stupid Z power, and the Ultra Goku wasn't even a boost unit, and I was like, why? Like, this was such like a missed opportunity. And so seeing them actually be like, okay, well, this character is relevant to that. We just dropped this character. It's free to play. We're going to make him a boost character. You absolutely love to see it. You know, that's pretty much all I have to say on that matter. I really do like it a lot. This is how it should be going forward for co-ops and for raids.
I agree. I also love the fact that they, on top of the 1000 CC that you get from those combat points, you also got the missions, which gives you another 250 or 300 CC, you know, like get the limited time rewards 3 times, 6 times, 9 times, and so on. So I think it's cool that they actually upped the amount of CC that we get.
Yeah, dude.
Plus, you know, you get to farm all the good shit like erasers, platinum coins for more erasers. Did I mention erasers? And also slot removers, and erasers, and energy, and erasers, and
some slot removers,
tickets, and extreme Z power, and erasers.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I know we've said it before, but I'm still so happy that they separated the CC from the shop.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy about that too.
Yeah,
because that way you can just get both at the same time, and you just end up with so much more rewards. Like, I still remember the raid where you had to like spend your coins on the CC, and then by the time you got your CC, like you didn't really have much left to, you know, buy other stuff unless you just kept grinding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm still really, really glad that they did that, but I think they did that like, what, 4 or 5 months ago at this point. So we're used to that at this point.
Yeah.
I still think it's really nice.
Yep. And people like hoarders like Noctis can accept those CC even though they're over 20k. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, dude.
Freaking hoarders, man.
Really happy with the raid format overall. I don't want them to change anything about the rewards, how we're getting like our coins and stuff like that, but maybe change up the gameplay. Maybe if they would change up the gameplay, I would be more than open to that. But even if they didn't, I'm perfectly content with the way things are right now with the raid.
Yeah, for sure. I like what you said about just the fact that there's the main boost unit is a free-to-play character. I think that, you know, future raids moving forward, because let's be honest, they're going to be dropping LF units, possibly summonable ultra units, like, and they're probably going to have raids like featured around those units in the future. So I don't care if they do that, like if they drop an LF unit and he's the main boost unit in the next raid, whatever, but there should always be like a viable free-to-play option for everybody. I think that's kind of the main point I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
I agree. And actually, that's why I even put the raid in, because this is the first time that a free-to-play unit is the main unit. And that's absolutely great, because you see only the main unit and not just some low tier, you know, like, because most people, you know, like when there's an LF, you know, obviously lots of people don't get them. So, you know, they just bring, either they bring crap units because the typing matches, or they just bring one of the boost units that don't boost as much and they maybe don't even kill on a double rush. And this time you're just guaranteed to do it. So it's great. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're all in unison on that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear ZVG talk about how much he loves the raid.
Oh yeah, that's true. ZVG, where you at?
Speaking of, I'm doing the Goku Black event right now just to get in for the raid right now. Like, I'm actually.
You don't even have him? Wait, you didn't have him? Oh my god.
Nah, I've just been neglecting it. But yeah, because I heard Azdeek talking about it. I actually went to check out.
The yellow rosé is actually good. I would say definitely.
Yeah, I know it's good. Yeah.
He's really damn good.
I'm doing that right now.
Z-feed late.
Yeah, I gotta get the CC, bro. You know.
Yeah, dude.
All right, before we go on to questions, we have one more thing that we can talk about, and that is only a few days from now, we get the reveals and stuff. Basically, it's a day and a half or something. It's 4 a.m. UTC on Tuesday, which is most of the time. It's going to be Monday night for all the North Americans. It's going to be 5 a.m. on Tuesday for me, and sometime in the afternoon for people in Asia. Swift, what are you expecting off that reveal and stuff? Or what do you want to see?
Okay, so I think, if we look at previous Black Fridays, I think most of them have been future-based, but I will say we've gotten, like, a decent amount of future units recently. I mean, we got the free-to-play Rose, we got the Zenkai on Zamasu, so maybe either they're leading up to dropping a really hype future unit, or they're going to move on to something else. I'm not really sure. There's a chance, Sword of Hope Trunks, something like that. If they do drop another hybrid unit, I don't really mind if they drop another hybrid unit. They just have to do it the right way. Kind of like what Palmzor was talking about before, where they can kind of design the kit however they want, and they can, really focus it on, let's say future instead of hybrids. But, possibly Sword of Hope Trunks. I still don't think the summonable Ultra is going to be here yet. I feel like if they're going to drop a summonable Ultra, it'll probably be New Year's, but I could be wrong. Maybe, possibly, I would love to see Zenkai, I would love to see Green LF Vegeta get a Zenkai. I think he deserves it. I think it would help Godkey, help replace Vados a little bit. And obviously he's not really viable nowadays, so I don't know when they're gonna drop the next LF Zenkai, but hopefully he's the next one, possibly for Black Friday. I don't know. I think Zenkai wise, I'm hoping for the Green Vegeta, and then I would not be surprised if we did see a Sword of Hope Trunks. I just hope they design the kit to where, it's not really made for hybrids. Hopefully it's, they're more made for future or something like that.
Sort of cope. All the Super Vegito mains are going to jump your throat now for wanting that Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta God Key Zenkai first.
Well, yeah, that's true. We do have Super Vegito. We definitely do have Super Vegito. He's a viable candidate.
Yup, but he's a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think they don't want to go too crazy. I don't think they want to jump the gun on his Zenkai, because him and Bardock would be nuts. Especially nowadays with the leader slot. Like you could really run those two pretty viably together nowadays.
Yeah.
Fair.
Dude, it's really hard to say for reveals, like the speculation and stuff like that, dude. But I'm honestly a little bit more. I know the LF units are extremely hype and stuff like that, but I'm a little bit more excited for the 3 units that I don't know if it's going to be 3 units, but it's going to be. There's at least going to be 2 other units besides the LF, right? At the very least. Like last year, we got 3 of them with the Pride Troopers and stuff like that were side by side with the UI Goku. I definitely want. I'm looking forward to those guys a little bit more than the actual LF unit, because at least with those guys, I have a better chance of pulling them. So I hope they're like really hype. Like last year we got the Pride Troopers and stuff like that. I really did like using Jiren a lot. To this day I use Topo. Dispo not so much. I really do not like. I did not like when Dispo would pop up in my summons and stuff like that, but I'm really curious to see what they actually drop for the 1% units, man.
How much CC do you have saved up?
Right now?
Yeah.
After doing some of this raid right here, I have 19k.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's a pretty good, nice little chunk of change.
I have 7.6. One thing I want to point out, you can see it on screen. Thanks to Hazard for sending it to me, is that this video is going to be an hour long. So there's going to be a crap ton of stuff. The question is, will they really use all of that hour to announce new stuff? Probably not. Maybe they'll do some goofing around, like, Toshi will give Rising Rush advice to a love-stricken teenager or something again. Like lock her in with Fat Boo and then Rising Rush her, and she will forever be yours. But an hour is, I think this is the longest reveals and stuff that we've ever had, right?
Yeah. I do not want to sit there for an hour. I'm gonna be real honest. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it $150, man. I do not. Wait, someone in chat is saying it's fake, bro. Hopefully it is, because I do not want it to be an hour. Oh my god, I think that would be pretty. tiring. Or I don't, because what could they even do for a whole hour? Just they have their little segments and stuff like that.
Is it really fake? Okay, my bad. But 5 a.m. Imagine 5 a.m. for an hour. That would be me.
Dude. On a weekday, right? Of all things, on a week, that would be pretty rough. Oh my god.
Yep. But yeah. So what do you think? What would you expect, ZVG?
Well, I'm gonna expect Surf of Chunk since they kind of hinted at that with the puzzle thing. But other than that, as Azdeek said, I'm really excited to see what other units will come with him. Hopefully, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a transforming Vegeta Blue or like a duo unit, Goku and Vegeta.
That'd be
Ooh.
sick.
Pretty sick.
That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Oh.
Or like a duo Zamasu and Rose. That'd be pretty.
Yeah, that'd be
Pretty
sick
hype.
too.
Very fitting. Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be amazing. They're gonna buff the Rose tag.
Bro,
Only.
I feel like they need to just, in general, expand on dual units and actually make them, like, viable.
Kale and
And
Khalifa?
more interesting.
Yeah,
What?
like,
I
I
love
mean-
the Kale and Khalifa.
I mean, okay, Kale and Khalifa aside, but thinking about stuff like the Broly Chilai assist. Cool, she
Yeah.
comes in for the green card. That's so boring. It's like, how is
Yeah.
that an assist? Saiyan, a great Saiyan in 1 and 2. Whoa, they're for the green card and for the old. Cool, you know? I mean, I know they
Be
have
fair.
restrictions with the phone, but it's like,
To be fair, Khalifa, I mean, Kale also comes in near the end of the strike attack as well, and the special move. And
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Kale and Khalifa aside, but the older units, the other
Oh,
assist
okay,
units,
okay.
they're kind of bland.
Yeah.
yeah.
so,
I will say
especially
they
the first
improved a
one.
little bit with Kale and Khalifa, but
Yeah.
I would just love to see more dual unit. I've always been a fan of dual units, but for whatever reason, they've never been like super viable. I mean, Kale and Khalifa is honestly not bad at all. But I would say like the majority of the dual units that we have not really ever been super viable. So I would love to see like just a really good, not like overly busted, but maybe high S tier or something like that. Like actually like a really good dual unit. I like what ZVG said, like either like a dual, what do you say, Goku Vegeta or Zamasu Goku Black. That'd be sick.
Yeah,
I'd
that'd
be
be
down for either
pretty
one.
sick, bro. Yeah, same.
Yeah, and people saying in chat that everybody forgets that Trunks and Maya's assist exist.
Oh, that green card is
But
top
I'm like,
tier.
that 2-hour green card is just a big yikes, man.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Trunks
no,
and
no,
Maya,
I love
Baby,
that.
I need you.
Yes.
I need the power, man. I need
knew
you.
ZVG was gonna say. That's what I was waiting for, but that's why
Yo,
I love it.
Dude, I love using that geek. I'd be like, Mike, give me a kiss. Give me
a kiss,
Yeah, I'm
baby.
powered up now. I'm powered up
In the
now.
middle of battle. Mwah.
Yeah.
Dude, that
But just
it's
the
so
peck.
funny. I like it. It's so funny.
Give me a
Dude,
kiss,
also,
but keep it PG.
Their ultimate is dude, it's fire, bro. It is fire. I would not cap. Their ultimate is fire together.
Yeah. Well, honestly, so like I'm going off like a little bit not off topic or anything like that, but just in regards to the reveals and stuff, man. Like, I hope it's not. I know it sells, right? I know Future sells. I know TOP is gonna sell and stuff like that. I know GT is gonna sell, but it's like, are we always going to be limited to those three? Do you guys think at this point? Because it's starting to feel like it a little bit.
I mean, last year we got
mean,
Rival
it's
Universe or Universal Survival
It's a
Saga.
celebration.
That's
so
still kind of like TOP though, right?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, they can do whatever they want. They could make
Yeah,
it like a
as it-
fusion fest if they wanted to.
I see what you're saying, Azdeek, but at the same time, it's like, it's a big celebration. So obviously, you gotta expect the hype stuff. I mean, to be honest, to be fair to Legends, they've actually released units like that, were barely in any of the Dragon Ball games and giving them love. So on that front, I think they're doing a pretty alright job with it. But yeah, for the Black Friday, New Year's, and anniversary stuff, I think it's fair to expect, the hypest of the hype, and then throughout the year we get some one-offs like Launch and Yamcha and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sure, yeah.
All right. I would say we are going to end the discussion part here. We're going to take a quick break and we will be back in 3 minutes for your questions from chat. So go get yourself a drink, get your questions logged and loaded, and we'll see you in 3. Hey, we're back. And I'm going to hand it over to MC Rice Cake himself. Azdeek is going to take your questions. So throw them in the chat right now.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so first one right here from Mustache DB. Besides Truth and Goresh, who will have the most? Oh, dude, come on. It's one of these questions. So who will have the most Legends tokens? Legends tokens.
Goresh.
Yeah, definitely Goresh. I think Truth is definitely a spender on this game. He likes to summon and stuff like that, but that's not like you don't really see Truth putting up Legends videos every single day, right? Whereas Goresh, he's like 14-star, everything, like that's his mission, that's his goal. He's definitely going to beat out Truth in that aspect. Let's see. Jonathan. So with the introduction of leader slots in Legends, what has been your most fun / interesting build with a new leader slot at this point in time? Okay.
Future Gohan on movies is the wave. You heard it here first.
Okay. I respect
Goku
that.
on region. Goku on region.
Okay.
Because screw hybrids.
Yeah, dude. I absolutely agree with that sentiment. I think a lot of people running Goku as a leader slot agrees with that. What about you, Swift? I saw you put up Goku Black on God Key, buffing God Key. That was pretty nice too.
Dude, that actually was a really fun team because, you know, when Goku Black first came out, like obviously I think a lot of people, I know I was kind of bummed he really wasn't made for God Key because he was such a good unit, but like he was more made for Future. And with the leader slot, yeah, you can throw him on God Key and he replaces Vados pretty well, man. I actually really like that setup. But yeah, I definitely see why Goku is so good because not only like individually he's good, but it's just that Z ability, man. Like I think if there's ever units that are like really viable, but they also have like a really damn good Z ability like that, it's just gonna be perfect for leader slot. But yeah, I don't know. I've been, like I said, I've been seeing a lot of Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I feel like that's. I see people throwing him on hybrids. Like I'll see like a really stacked hybrids team, and then they just throw Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta as the leader unit. I think that's a pretty nasty setup. I don't know. I think it'll take time. It'll take time to really figure out the most optimal setups.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that's what we were talking about a little bit earlier too. Is that a lot of people are still playing this like very, very like vanilla, right? They're like, if you have the most optimal team, people aren't even really touching the leader slot at all. They're kind of just being like, well, I got this team, it's optimal, I don't have to change anything. And that's fair. That's completely fair and stuff like that. So I'm definitely not seeing too many crazy teams. And I'm seeing, for the most part, what I am seeing in the leader slot is just Gogeta for Goku, the health buffers. I'm seeing Bergamo on God Key and stuff like that, right? So I think it's going to take us like a season or two to actually go ahead and start seeing the funky teams that I want to see and stuff like that, right? For the most part, Goku, I think he's definitely the most fun that I have had using on GT and stuff like that. I've already talked about that like 3 times now.
Yes.
But it just, dude, Goku on GT is just another breed, man. I swear to you guys, if you haven't tried it out, definitely go ahead and try it out. You will not regret it. But
what's good about that setup is I guess Goku doesn't really rely like too much on being on movies, right?
Yeah,
like I don't think his kit is really like based around being on movies, like so he's gonna perform pretty damn good on other teams too.
Or even better, Heller Clan.
Yeah, dude. I think I honestly think just that's a really good point to make. I think Gogeta 4 is the same way, right? Like he's not really limited to like GT. Does he have anything in his kit that's like he wants to be ran with other GT or Super Saiyan 4s?
I don't think so. I'd have to double check. I don't think so though.
Yeah, I think that's what makes him pretty strong too, if he's not really restricted like that, right? Because we were talking about that with Vados, why she's restricted in that nature because of her uniques kind of still wanting her to be on specific tags.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I think those are really going to be the units that are going to shine on the leader skill too.
Yeah.
Like just the units that are insanely good just individually. They don't really rely on their respective teams.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. So for the next question, it says from Frosty Ice, it says now that we've gotten this huge update, what do you guys think are the most flaring issues in the game right now? I think ZVG would easily say matchmaking.
PvP, right? the matchmaking for sure. Other than that, another issue too is the visual glitches in the game right now with like the forfeits and everything. Like that is whack. Please bring back the old images for the forfeits, bro. The new ones is just not. I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not, but like the forfeit screens now. Have you guys not noticed it?
It's like a different. It's like a different graphic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is so ugly now. Yo, change it back, please, Toshi. If you're watching this, bro, please change it back. I want to see Gogeta in all his glory, bro. I don't want to see just the screen. Like, it's like if you're playing the match, it doesn't show like the close up anymore. It doesn't show the close up anymore, which sucks. Like, I want to see the close up.
Oh yeah,
Like it doesn't
Everybody wants to
like
see the close-up.
freeze on like the cool screenshots that
Yeah.
you can get. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do that anymore for some reason. And also, like, when you pop a main ability and like the character just goes, like the opponent just goes invisible or something. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that too. Like, I'll pop my main ability and then they just disappear and then reappear.
Wait, really?
Again. Yeah. Dude, have you guys not noticed it, bro? It's
No,
just me?
I'm actually gonna pay attention. I'm gonna look out for that though. That's
It's already
crazy.
like, I mean, it's a Zodiac. I mean, it's worse. So it's like, yeah, I want my cool screenshots. Yes, I want that.
I mean, that was like one of the huge parts about.
Screenshots.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest parts about the forfeit, right? And,
Exactly. Like, why would I like? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, one thing I would like, and that's not something that changed with the update, is can we just please have consistent sounds every time a unit sidesteps? I don't want
Yeah.
the Gohans to be even more OP because you
Yeah.
hear only half of their sidesteps. It's so annoying.
Yeah, dude, this has been an issue for like months now. And
Like,
you
I
know
wanna
they did
friend
it on
trap them, I
purpose
wanna-
because okay, so for those that don't know like what we're talking about, so the red FSK Gohan and then I think also the purple Revival Gohan. I
Yep.
think it's like most of the teen Gohans, the Super Saiyan 2 teen Gohans, when they sidestep, it only has the audio cue every other time, like literally like 50% of the time. Sometimes it's completely quiet, and then other times you hear the sidestep. And then every single
Yeah.
other unit in the game, when you sidestep, there's an audio cue. And this, for whatever reason, Teen Gohan is like the only unit that he only has an audio cue like 50% of the time. And I've heard it's both in English and the JP audio.
Yeah,
So
JP is the
obviously they
same.
did it on purpose. Like if it was only English, then maybe it would be like a glitch or something. But like just the fact that it's English and JP, like you can tell they did that on purpose for some reason. So hopefully, I would love if they changed that.
Yep. Me too. I think everyone would, dude. That is very annoying overall.
Yep, agree.
But moving on to the next question. So we got Crowny says, you guys think there will be an update to PvP gameplay someday? Like new ways to play, etc. I personally think yes, or I honestly, I don't know, because with unique gauge, I feel like one of these days, you know, it's going to be for a big celebration, like the celebration's coming up right now, right? We're going to get someone with an absolutely busted unique gauge, and it's gonna probably pressure the devs to make a new new battle system, maybe, right? Because that's what pushed them last time, right? Whenever something is broken or when it's getting abused, that's when they kind of like switch it up a little bit, right? With Nameku, that's when we got the introduction of the tackle. We went through tackle stat. We went through like all these updates to get to where we're at right now. I think once we get someone broken, someone like breaks the state of the game, that's when we'll see the new ways to play.
Bro, what if it's like, okay, so you know how it's 3v3 right now? What if they came up with like a system where it'd be like 5v5 or something like that? Like maybe you have 5 units instead of 3.
Dude, you want matches to take 10 years, bro?
I don't know. I'm just like
Is
brainstorming. I'm like, or maybe it's like 4v4 or like 2v2s. Like I don't even know.
Yeah,
you could
like
have all
a
different
2v2
types of
mode
like game.
would
Yeah,
kinda be
2v2s
interesting.
would actually be cool.
I mean, they could make it like in other games where if you lose a character, then the backup character comes into play or something.
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah,
crazy.
for sure.
Dude, I don't think they could ever do this, but what you guys are talking about, like, it reminds me, like, imagine if somehow they had, like, the power to make, like a party mode, like they have in Fighters, where you'll pull up, because it's like a, you know, like in Fighters, they do it like a similar, where there's you have 3 characters versus 3 characters, right? But they have that one party game mode where it's like a 3v3, like you and 2 of your friends go up against 3 people, and you guys just designate a character to each other, and you guys can swap them out, and then the other person starts playing. Yeah, that'd be crazy, huh?
That'd be fun, but like I think the connection would be an issue or something of that.
Yeah,
sort, but, like,
yeah, it
there'd be
definitely
some
would.
issue with that. But that'd be so fun to think about, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right. Well, you know, that's gonna go ahead and be that's all the time we have for questions right here. Thank you guys for dropping them in the chat, and I'll let Palm go ahead and wrap this up.
Aw, that's so nice. You're just saying that. So yeah, that's it for this week's podcast for episode 60. So yeah, we're going to be back in a week's time with episode 61. It's going to be a hype one. It's going to be an all-star podcast. I can already say that much. So you better mark your calendars and show up on time. Now, thanks, Jonathan, by the way. yeah, now you completely made me lose my train of thought. And that's going to be it for the podcast. Make sure to follow us on all our social media, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Reddit. Join our Discord server. Everything is in the description or the chat, depending on where you are. And yeah, make sure to follow all our content creators, Azdeek, Swift, and ZVG on their YouTubes, on their Twitch channels, and on their Twitters. And that's going to be it. We're going to rate Zilchi, who's playing some Dead by Daylight. So,
Hey, Zilch.
drop some love in the chat, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Later, guys.